Hello everybody, this is your favorite resident basement dweller, My Big Taco. We are going to go over my mod that I have designed for my Discord server. It is called Wallachia Enjoyers Vanilla, or something like that. This mod serves as a sort of slightly improved vanilla game. And by improved, I just mean it's going to change some of the starting positions, so that way there's more nations that are playable on game start. And I've also teetered around with some of the ideas, and I have a few major changes that will hopefully make the game a little bit more interesting for people in Europe and in Africa, and I'll go over those later. Let's start with the furthest east I modified. By the way, I didn't touch anything over here in Asia, East Asia, mostly because it's fine, and I don't want to mess with me that much. First thing I did was I made Gorkha, which is Nepal, a lot stronger at the start, so they have better development. And normally all of these are released and they're just a 2 province, but now they have it mostly united. And they can quickly form Nepal, which you don't need to be Tech 10 to do. Nepal is one of the strongest military nations in the game. If you guys want to look at the ideas for yourself, you can. It is insanely strong. All of their ideas are military, except one. That's how fixated they are on it. So I thought I would start them in this position just to see if anyone was, willing to go that extra mile and become a Indian Prussia. Mawar starts with a few provinces extra, as well as this nation being a vassal, Nagwar. That's it. They just have a little bit more provinces to start off, a bit easier. I didn't touch Timurids. I didn't touch anything in Persia. This area already got a lot of love, and I don't want to muck it up, really. Okay, now let's go to Africa. Okay, Africa got changed a bit. So I buffed uh, 3 of the African nations, and they're all regional. So there's the Horn, there's West, or Central if you want. This is more West, and then this is Central, Congo, and then the Zimbabwe Kilwa area. So Congo, Kilwa, and Songhai all got buffs. Um, Mostly just making their ideas a little bit more multiplayer friendly, and I'll give you an example. So Congo, let's just tag switch to them. Congo now gets development cost as their final idea. I gave them quite a bit because this land is pretty bad, and it would sort of change their direction to make it a little bit more interesting. I gave them some prestige, and I gave them a mill idea, another mill idea, shock damage. Other than that, they're basically the same. For Kilwa, I think it's I don't remember the Kilwa tag. It's not Kilwa, but they have another mill idea. I think it's morale. And if we go to Songhai, I didn't give them all like the same thing in dev cost or something like that, but I did give Songhai another idea for construction cost and inflation reduction, just because this is there's like 500 provinces here, and they are going to be building a lot of buildings. So, and gold mines, of course. Now, the one thing I did add for every African cultured nation, so that's all of Africa, South Africa, or sorry, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Horn, not the Berbers. If you're in that culture group, you now have access to a colonist. This is a similar colonist modifier that some of the missions already grant. I think Denmark has one like this. Basically, you pay 500 ducats, you have Diplotech 7, and a decent income. You can click this button and get a colonist for 20 years. Obviously, this is just to help the African nations get more land quicker. Some of them already have colonists in their missions. This is just going to be another one, and it sort of gives them another avenue of growth. Okay, so that's enough about Africa. This is one of the major changes I was talking about. Let's just go to observe real quick. Let's talk about the province changes in the more important part of the world, which is Western Europe. First of all, I did not touch Russia, Sweden, Scandinavia, anything like that. Okay, all this stuff is the same. I didn't feel like it needed to be touched. Ottomans is the same. I was thinking about changing Georgia, but I just didn't. I don't know why. I think it's fine. Mamluks now starts with a better ruler. Okay, more mill, um, more admin and diplo. He's still really old though, so it's not a huge bonus, but it's just to help them do a little bit better against the Ottomans. Hungary's Interregnum is now a 333. That's it. Habsburg is slightly better, more mill. I haven't buffed Jagiellon. I don't think I'm going to. And what else? The Berbers. Oh yeah, and you guys might notice Italy here. We'll talk about that in a second. The Berbers. If we see here, Morocco actually has Septa now. In exchange, the fort has been removed, and Portugal now has a much better regent on game start. So they're going to start with more points, and maybe extend the regency, stuff like that. Pretty good value, in my opinion. Castile has we've gotten rid of their heir, and we have given Juan one more mill point. The Civil War can still fire if you get an heir. So it's not gonna be destroyed or whatever if you need to get that event done. I didn't touch England, touch Ireland, or anything like that. All this stuff is the same. I partially integrated. I don't know why I moved to this. I wasn't done with Africa. I partially integrated Sus for Morocco just to give them a bit better starting position, and they have a significantly better ruler on game start. Okay, normally this guy's a 0-2-1. He's now a 3-2-4. So this will help the Moroccan player be a lot more capable of dealing with the Iberian hug box. Tunis now starts with Fazan as a vassal, and a better ruler, slightly better ruler. Oh, by the way, Songhai starts with 2 vassals now. They're in ICTA, so it's a government reform that helps. They get benefits from having vassals, so that helps them a bit. Okay. Naples starts free, and still has cores on Sicily, who also starts free. Sicily is just a random free nation now. Aragon, if they're slotted, which I don't think anyone's going to want to play Aragon, since I've taken away 60 of their dev, they have cores on this as well. So if the Castile player gets Aragon, he can still get Sicily back. This lets Naples be slotted and feel a lot better about it. Also, they have a Valois, or Valois. Florence got a buff. Nothing changed except they start with cores on Lucca and Siena. This won't affect the game unless you slot Florence. Most of the time, North Italy is going to be Milan, Venice, never Florence because it's too small. But now, with cores, they should be able to move a little bit quicker. Switzerland. Actually, we'll talk about Germany last. Germany is my most touched nation. By the way, we're almost done. I've almost covered everything. This is a really small mod. Obviously, you're going to see it the video length and know that, which is funny that I'm retroactively saying that. Burgundy now starts with Metz-Lorraine integrated, and they start with better starting position, so Philip is no longer a general, so he won't die as quick. And then Charles is the same. I thought I buffed him, but I think I changed my mind. Or maybe I didn't. Either way, I will probably buff Charles to have 1 Diplo point. But it's insignificant. Just something I wanted to talk about. Liège is no longer in the HRE. So what happens is Burgundy will take Provence here, and then they'll take Liège right after. This just gives them something to do besides attack France. In my opinion, you should always slot this nation. It's a very important nation for the sort of balance of power in this region. If your France player whines about it, tell them to get fucked. That's really my opinion. And if they do lose, which they almost always will, Burgundy player I mean, they can just form Netherlands and be stronger. So, no big deal. Alright, let's talk about Germany. Germany's sick. Alright, did a lot of little bit of love everywhere. Okay? So let's start with Cologne. Cologne now starts with the Berg provinces annexed and cored, obviously. This will help them complete a mission right away and give them claims on Munster and basically help them get the ball rolling a lot quicker to form Westphalia. Okay? I've also buffed Westphalia slightly, give them a bit more dev cost reduction. Switzerland now starts with 3 leagues as a vassal, okay, just to speed up that process. They're a little bit more slottable now. It's fine. Brandenburg, the fate of Newmark, is going to fire the first month of the game. I'm going to change the mean time to happen. I haven't done it yet. But basically now, at the start of the game, it'll fire. You'll still pay for the provinces, but the event will fire. And what else did I touch? Bavaria, of course. So Bavaria is pretty much an internation by most accounts, mostly because they're just inside of Austria's sphere of influence. But the reason I'm buffing all these German nations kind of all ties together, and you'll see why in a second. It obviously has to do with the HRE. So Landshut normally starts independent, or sorry, Ingolstadt normally starts independent, but there's a chance if the ruler dies that Ingolstadt will inherit them. Sorry, Landshut will inherit them. I have just streamlined that and said they just start with them now. That way there's no 50-50 RNG. Okay, a little bit more consistent. Munich normally has Passau as a vassal. I've just given that vassal over to Landshut. So now they're the natural position to be Bavaria. And basically what happens is within a year or two of the game, they can attack Munich, PU them, and then form Bavaria. And if you don't know, Bavaria has a lot of cool, unique missions, has really good ideas. Pretty cool, tall German nation. No one can ever play it though, because its position is a little bit too weak for multiplayer. So that was the purpose of the mod, is to give a few more nations a little bit of love to make them playable. Now in my lobbies, I have rules for minor nations, so it's even more effective. Let's talk about the finale, the HRE reforms. Okay, so normally the HRE is a pointless endeavor in multiplayer. Centralization is kind of like what people think of when you think of the HRE. I figured that it would be cool to give the HRE a potential purpose. It's not going to manifest in most games, but it could be cool for it to work out. So let's take a look at what I meant. First of all the reforms have been buffed except the first 3. And these are the generic reforms. So I'll skip the first 3 because you should know what they do. But these new reforms give you more benefits to each person in the empire. So tech cost is better. It's 10 up from 5. You now have mercenary discipline. You have yearly prestige. You have local tax modifier and Diplo rep. And then, if you go into decentralization, you're now getting trade efficiency if you're the emperor. You're getting a merchant if you're in the empire, and you're getting a massive manpower increase for your princes as well. You're also going to get defensiveness and fort maintenance, local dev cost, and then the Reichskrieg. So this stuff isn't broken, okay? I didn't touch centralization, by the way. This is never going to happen in multiplayer, except if it's a meme. But I wanted maybe there to be a reason for people in the Empire to collaborate or work together to some extent with the Emperor. Normally it's very competitive and very all against the Emperor, but now maybe there might be some interest in keeping the free cities alive or something like that. Again, these modifiers aren't insane, but free manpower, fort maintenance, defensiveness, dev cost, all that stuff really adds up. And if you manage to get the tree going, you can get a lot of these little modifiers stacking up. So that's it. That's Wallachia Enjoyer's Vanilla Light, or Vanilla Plus, or Vanilla Balanced. The whole mod is designed to make more more starting nations viable. I'm going to give you a quick summary of every nation that is better now and more playable. Okay, Cologne has more provinces, Bavaria has more provinces, Switzerland has more provinces, Burgundy is better, Morocco and Berbers in general are better. All of the Africans are playable now, and then Gorkha, Nepal, same thing, and Mewar are more playable. Everything else is relatively the same, save for a few buffs here and there. I did forget one thing. Austria's ideas, their finisher, let's just tag have so we can see it. Their finisher now gives them a little bit of fire damage and shock damage. This used to be monthly air chance or something. So now it's just not useless. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's the whole video. Remember, if you guys want to play in my lobbies, read the rules. Alright, GG.